Hi, welcome to Ohio State Marian. My name is Ashley Gordon, and I'm the Director of Enrollment Services. I'm really excited that you're joining me today to go over some of the basics about our campus and to learn a little bit more about the admission process. If you have any questions, please get in touch with us at askmarian@osu.edu or at our phone number 740-725-6242. We look forward to helping you, and we'll definitely go over your best contact person as we go through this presentation. But let's get started with some of the basics. So one thing to note is that we would love to host you on campus sometime soon. We know that watching a video is not the same as meeting in person or coming on campus. While we typically have lots of opportunities to do so, we hope that this virtual visit is a good temporary version until we can host you on campus again. So to start with the basic numbers, fast facts. Ohio State Marian is part of The Ohio State University's campus system. We were founded in 1957, so we've been around for quite a while. Our average class size is 19 students, and our typical class, last year's total student body was about 1,200 students. Our retention rate was 74% this past year. And for those of you that don't know what a retention rate is, this is a number that you'll see often at different universities. It's a great thing to compare because it shows you the student success. Retention rate is the number of students that come to a campus and then return that very next year as sophomores. Now, in our case, we're part of the Ohio State University system, so we do count those students that move on to another campus within the system as a success. So 74% of our students start their first year and then return to Ohio State in some capacity their second year. That is the highest of all of the regional campuses and much higher than the average for open enrollment campuses. So we're very proud of that. 19.2% of our incoming students last year identified as multicultural, race, ethnicity, according to their application. So definitely self-defined as to what a student put on their application, but something that's really important for a lot of students. They want to pick a campus where they know they're going to meet new and diverse people and be a part of a diverse school atmosphere. Couple more fun facts. People love statistics. So our average test score last year was a 22.5 on the ACT. We do accept both ACT and SAT. We don't require test scores on the Marian campus, but a lot of students do submit them for placement purposes. They're optional. But of those students that submitted test scores, our average was a 22.5, which is above the state average. Of our incoming students this past year, 53 different counties out of the 88 Ohio counties were represented. So one big misconception for our students at Ohio State Marian is that we are simply a regional campus. Students kind of worry that if they go away, if they're from the local area, Marian in particular, that it'll be a lot of the people that they went to high school with, that it'll be high school all over again. And I think that statistic really shows you that we pull from all over the state. And again, just like that diversity number, that's really important to our students. They want to go away to a school that they know they're going to be challenged, they're going to find their fit, but they're also going to be exposed to a lot of different new people. That's one of the perks of going to college. In terms of male to female ratio, very close to 50-50% if that matters to you. And then of our students this past year, so of the freshmen that just finished their freshman year, 66% of our students applied to Marian as their first choice. So we're going to talk in a little bit about the application process, and there are two routes that you can go. You can either apply to Ohio State Marian directly, or you can apply to the Columbus campus and be optioned to a regional campus. So we'll talk about that later, but do know that 2/3 of our students started with the Marian campus application and applied directly to our campus. So a big part of your college search should and is academics. We really, really want you to know that the great thing about starting at Ohio State is the breadth and the wide variety of majors that you get to choose from at Ohio State. Ohio State has over 200 majors. That is a lot to pick from. and we understand that. So I recommend going to majors.osu.edu. It's a great search engine on our website that shows all of those majors. You can type in tons of different keywords and get a nice populated list of stuff that interests you. So if you're not sure what your major will be called, but you know you're interested in computers, then put in computers and see all the majors that come up and kind of click through and say, okay, which ones interest me? Which ones do I know don't interest me? It's pretty easy from those brief bios on those majors to pick out which ones might be a good fit for you. Part of being that Ohio State University system is, again, having the benefits of not only Marion campus, but everything else that Ohio State has to offer. One big thing that we talk about is starting here and finishing here. So you have the choice. You can come to the Marion campus and do 1 year, or you can do all 4 years, or anything in between. So this map shows the different campuses that we offer. Wooster is our Agriculture Technical Institute, ATI. We've got the other regional campuses, Mansfield, Lima, Newark, and of course Marion. And then we have the Columbus campus, which is the largest campus and the oldest campus in the system. A third of students every year start on a regional campus. So this is a really popular route, and there are a lot of benefits to that. Those small class sizes that I talked about, those average class sizes of 19 students, for example, that's a huge benefit for our incoming students who want an Ohio State degree, but they want to start out in a smaller campus setting. So when we say start here, finish here, or start here and complete any one of those 200 majors, we have some programs on the Marion campus that are offered all 4 years. So you see the list here: biology, business management, early childhood education, engineering technology, middle childhood education, education, youth and childhood studies, English, history, nursing, which is an RN to BSN program. So if you already have your RN, if you are already a registered nurse, you can come and complete your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing through Ohio State Marion. Psychology and social work. Those majors are majors that we have all 4 years of. They are also majors on the Columbus campus. So should a student start in one of those programs, they can do up to 4 years with us. They could, however, go to Columbus after their very first year. It is whatever path the student thinks is the best fit. So just because we have those 4-year programs doesn't mean you have to stay the whole time, but also it gives you that leeway. Should you decide this is a really good fit, you'd like to stay 1 extra year for all of the reasons that we're going to talk about, you have those options with these majors in particular. If you're looking at something similar, we often have a lot of those classes in those areas that can, again, elongate your time on our campus. Engineering technology is our newest major, so I do want to highlight that. The rest of the engineering programs at Ohio State, you do have to go to the Columbus campus for in order to finish. Engineering technology is the only one that is offered all 4 years on the regional campuses only. It is not on the Columbus campus. It is a College of Engineering degree program, so it is a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering Technology. We were chosen to have this major specifically because of our location. Being located in manufacturing communities is a great fit for this program because it means you getting the internships and the hands-on experience that you need. That's the case with most of these majors. They're strategically put on the regional campuses because we have great programs in them and because of the experiential learning, which we'll talk about in a little bit. There are a few programs, however, that we offer a lot of. So engineering would be a great one to mention for that exact reason that we have the first year or the first 2 years of some programs to do before you move on to the Columbus campus. The list here has a bunch of other minors or full majors that we have a lot of classes in that would allow you to stay just that much longer. One thing to note is that the regional campuses do offer associate's degrees. So I was just speaking with a student recently who was interested in doing a dual degree program or a 2+2 program. They were interested in doing a 2+2 program with a community college, and the big benefit was that they were going to get their associate's degree and in 4 years have 2 degrees. We offer the same thing. Now, most of our students, the large majority, are not stopping after that associate's degree. They are continuing on, but they really like that they have that little bonus degree in there, that as they work towards their 4-year degree, they have a milestone halfway through that they have earned that can go on their resume. We also have the option of these pre-professional programs. If you're not familiar with what pre-professional means, professional schools are programs that you have to go on and do more schooling after that bachelor's degree. So all of these listed here, dentistry, law, med, OT, optometry, pharmacy, PT, vet med, all of those programs are programs that you do your bachelor's degree, and then you continue on into typically a doctoral program. So if you are thinking of going into vet school, you would be doing the DVM. Oftentimes the search process for those programs is just like the college search process you're going through now. You would be in the last year of your program at Ohio State. You would be searching for what is the best fit for you in terms of a program based on academics, cost, size, location, anything else that is important to you. Now, a lot of these programs are very competitive, so that's a really important thing to know when prepping for these programs is that they're not guaranteed entry. So if you're thinking of being a dentist, it can be a long path ahead. You're looking at a couple extra years after your bachelor's degree. But that is why it's worth it. So that is something that our academic advisors help our students with. These are not majors at the university. So if you're thinking of being pre-med, you would choose a major that is the best fit for you. That could be any major. People typically choose the sciences, but you don't have to. You can choose whatever major is the best fit for you, as long as you are getting the prerequisites that are required in order to apply to those programs. And every university, every program is different. Many programs will have many of the same requirements, but that's something an academic advisor would help you figure out as you go through your 4 years of undergraduate or your bachelor's degree. So that's what they would be helping with, is making sure that no matter what, you're getting those prerequisites and you're getting that well-rounded resume full of experiences that show that you would be a great fit for any program that you apply to. So you can do any of those programs from Ohio State Marian. You can start them and continue that pathway. Again, not a major, but continue that pathway into the Columbus campus if you so choose, or you can apply to any of these programs from completing a 4-year program at Ohio State Marian. Now, I've talked a couple times already about the campus change process. Now, you'll notice we don't call it transferring. In higher ed, transferring is where you start at one institution and you transfer. You apply to another institution and you move your credits over with you, hopefully. One big thing to note is that when you are campus changing, you are still at Ohio State University. So there's no reviewing your credits because they're already Ohio State credits. When you graduate from Ohio State University, no matter what campus you spent most of your time on, your credits are all Ohio State credits. So no matter where you start, it's an Ohio State degree. So if you are thinking of campus changing, if you're thinking of starting on the Ohio State Marian campus and moving to the Columbus campus, you may do so anytime after you earn 30 semester credit hours. That is typically a year of college classes because on average, students take 15 credit hours each semester, 2 semesters in a typical academic year. Those do have to be post-high school graduation. So CCP or College Credit Plus, as it's known, post-secondary enrollment option or dual enrollment, those don't count towards that 30 semester credit hours. They do have to be earned at Ohio State. You have to earn a 2.0 cumulative GPA at Ohio State. And if you're thinking, that's it? Good. I want you to think that. That is the goal. We want you to be way above that 2.0. That is not the aim for you. You're going to be way higher than that. So if you scoff a little at that, great. I love hearing that. So 2.0 and 30 semester credit hours, you have to be in good academic standing and you have to do a year of classes, and that is it. So it's pretty easy. And then the process is very easy too. Once you are about to meet those requirements, so typically in your second semester of your first year, you meet with your academic advisor on our campus, you submit a form, and then you register for Columbus campus classes. That is it. It's pretty easy. Now we will help you with all the small details when we get there. One of those small details that is pretty major for a lot of students are those college requirements within the individual majors. So if you are thinking of nursing or engineering or something like that. Those are, or business. Those are all programs that have minimum GPA requirements or an application process or certain classes that you have to have gotten certain grades in. And so all of those, yes, you can meet these requirements. And maybe this is easy for you, but you do still have to meet the requirements to be admitted into your major in your program. So just because this is the requirement to campus change does not mean, again, that you should aim for that. You're going to aim higher. So check with your individual college of interest. Again, majors.osu.edu is a great start. You can link, it links over to all of the college websites. So within the university, the departments or colleges within the university have their own websites, and that shows you what is required for each of those majors. If you're thinking 3 different majors, start looking through those requirements now and seeing the classes that overlap and what you might be taking. We are very, very big on getting involved at Ohio State, and Ohio State Marian in particular. We know that students, statistically, students that are involved about 20 hours a week outside of the classroom are the highest GPA earners. We know that. So our big goal is to get students involved in something. Now that something can be very wide. It can be experiential learning, as we're going to talk about in a minute. It could be a student org. It could be student employment. Doing something outside of the classroom to structure your time is a good thing academically. It may feel like it's going to detract. There is a too busy and there is a not busy enough, right? There are students that go away to college that don't get involved at all and have a little bit too much free time and end up taking a lot of naps. So don't be that student. Get involved in something, but also know that your academics come first and find that balance of involvement, activity, and academics. We have some tips on what to get involved with. It is totally up to you. You have the opportunities that we have on the Marian campus, and then you also have the opportunities on the Columbus campus. That's a big question that we often get. Is can I get involved on the Columbus campus? And in most cases, yes, you can. So if you are someone who's thinking of campus changing pretty early on, you can look into some of those clubs and organizations that are on the Columbus campus. We've got a ton, everything you can imagine. You might want to get involved in one thing there if your time allows, if your schedule and logistics allow getting to campus, but you don't have to. You can choose to get involved wherever you are at. So our tips, 3 categories that we recommend. We recommend something academic, something to do with your major or your future career, or something that ties in with what you are here to study at Ohio State, if you know what that is. If you don't, that can be a great way to learn more about the field if you're not sure. Something you're familiar with, maybe a club or an organization that you already have as a hobby, or something you did in high school or in the past. And then discover something brand new. Get involved in some random student organization that you never thought you would, because it is a great way to meet people. It's a great way to expose yourself to something new, and you never know what you're going to find getting involved. One big thing that I love to talk about is study abroad. Ohio State offers over 200 study abroad programs, and that is just the programs that we specifically offer. We also have partners with programs all over the world. We offer programs in 50 different countries. Literally every continent Ohio State has a program on. So even if you want to go to Antarctica, we have the Bird Polar Research and Climate Change facility on the in Antarctica, and you can go there as an undergraduate student and study. That could be part of your semester study, would be going to Antarctica. That is so cool. So every continent, I usually joke, if it's legal and safe for an American citizen to go to, we probably have a program in it. There's probably some good fit. Now, some of those programs are major specific. So you might find a program that isn't in your major that goes to a country that you're interested in. If you've never thought about study abroad, college is a great time to travel abroad. Ohio State offers a lot of different programs, and because of that, a lot of great opportunities for you to go and immerse yourself in a culture for however long you feel comfortable. It could be a week. It could be up to a full year immersion program. That is up to you to choose. So if you've never traveled abroad, maybe a week-long break program. So something over spring break or winter break would be a good fit for you. Maybe something longer. It totally depends on what we have and what you're interested in. Me personally, when I was a student at Ohio State, there were some programs that were in my major, but they didn't really interest me. I knew I wanted to go to a couple different countries. I had a nice list. So I went into our Office of International Education and I said, here's my list of where I'm interested. I don't want it to be too expensive. I'd like it to be over a break, summer break included in my case. So you got to think about what works in your schedule. What's your budget? What do you want to study? Do you want to work on a language when you're abroad? I knew I didn't. Do you want to take classes, or is it more experiential learning? You want to volunteer abroad? Answer all of those questions with the help of our Office of International Education. So for me, I ended up doing archaeology in Greece. I was a psych major. That does not necessarily go together, but I had an interest in history as a kid. I kind of wanted to be an archaeologist as a kid, but I had grown up and changed my path, as many of us do. I had a blast on this trip. It was so eye-opening. I got a history minor out of it, but do I use it today? No, I'm really good at identifying pottery, but the reason I bring this up is be open to these experiences, because that is what college is all about. The great thing is that it was not a very large program fee for someone who was paying for it themselves. That was a big plus. We definitely want to find the program that fits for you. So just like student organizations, just like study abroad, put yourself out there and try something new. That is what college is all about. So I've mentioned experiential learning a couple times. This is big. Student organizations, study abroad, great things to pair together into your experience in college. But these are the things that are often going to tie directly into your future career. So I've got two examples here. When we say experiential learning, we simply use that as an umbrella term to say stuff that you're going to get out and experience and do somehow in the field. So that could be research, or it could be an internship or a co-op or something like that. In this case, we've got Caroline. Caroline is one of our, she's just finishing up her junior year in social work. So that is one of those programs we have all 4 years of. She started as a program aide at Turning Point. Turning Point in Marion and Delaware, that is a women's shelter. So part of her placement, part of her internship has been working with families directly. This is awesome, in that she is getting this direct experience with clients, one-on-one. She's getting to help families, which is where her heart and passion is at. She's also getting a resume builder. She's getting something that in the future she's going to be able to say, yeah, of course I've dealt with that situation. Yes, I know what those families are going through. I've seen it firsthand already. So you should hire me because of that. That is awesome to have. The students that struggle to find jobs after college are often the ones, in my experience, that don't know how to articulate those things, that have taken the classes but don't know how to connect it to their everyday future career. So she's getting those experiences already, and she's only a junior. Nathan Baker is another great example. He's our example of research. So he is a senior. He should be graduating or just graduated in psychology, another one of our 4-year programs at Ohio State Marion. Now, if you asked Nathan as a freshman, Nathan, what are you going to conduct research in? He could not have answered that, and that's okay. Most students are in that boat. A lot of students don't picture themselves conducting research. They think that that is something that PhD candidates do, students that are in graduate work. We offer undergraduate research at that level, and we think that's really neat, because one really cool way of showing that you understand the material and can apply it is by being able to present. Now, in Nathan's case, he presented at the national level. He traveled to Baltimore, and there's a picture of him presenting. He did a study on language science, so how people learn about language, which is really neat. Now, language is one of those topics that is not just a psychology topic. It spans so many different academic areas at our university. So there is a whole group of people across the university studying language, and that have formed the Buckeye Language Network. So his activity, he went to COSI, which is the Science Museum in Columbus. He went there and he had this iPad game that he would show kids, and it would show them words that were in different colors than what it actually said. So if it was the word blue, but it was in orange, the kid had to figure out, am I saying blue or orange? What is my brain choosing to articulate versus what I see? Because I'm seeing essentially two different colors, a word and a color. So the Stroop effect is what it's called. And you can see there's a little screenshot of the iPad on there and his data. Again, this is not something that he thought he was going to be doing as a freshman, but something that based on his classes that he took and based on interactions with our faculty, he was led into. And I think that's really neat. I want a lot of students to realize that every academic area has research going on in it. Even if you don't think it's an academic area that typically has research in it, we think of researchers in lab coats, but that is not the only opportunity. So if you're not sure about research, that's okay. It's something that I recommend you get involved in. But again, we're going to help you with that. Our faculty, as you take your classes and learn more about your field, are going to help you discover what most interests you. You don't have to have that figured out right now. That is one of the biggest perks of going to a small campus, is getting those interactions that will lead to that discovery. One really neat thing that Ohio State has is called Digital Flagship. It is a huge initiative, campus-wide, university-wide. It is not just a technology program. So if you've read about the Digital Flagship Initiative, the big thing that people do talk about is that all of our incoming first-year students get an iPad that comes with all the fixings. It comes with the keyboard, it comes with this really nice case, it comes with all kinds of things preloaded on it. And it is not just the technology that it comes with. It comes with Ohio State specific apps. And the idea is that, again, not only are you just getting this piece of technology, we're evening the playing field, so every student is starting with this same piece of technology, but we're really incorporating it into our coursework. All of our faculty know that students are coming in with this piece of technology. For our Marion campus students, that is typically given out at the beginning of the year, so that first week of classes, and it's a big deal to get your iPad and set it up. We also have a bus that comes to campus a couple times a semester, teaching students about not only how to use that technology further than what they've already learned, but helping them develop apps on their own, code. We want students, when they graduate from Ohio State, to be really familiar with technology. We are not sending students out into their future career not knowing how to use different products. So that's really big for us. Again, it's not just getting you that piece of technology and leveling the playing field, but it's also making sure that you understand how to use those things to the best of your ability, and making sure that our faculty are using that in their sessions, in their classes as well. So you're going to really see an integration in that, which is exciting. So let's transition a little bit. We've talked a lot about the why. I mean, there are some great reasons as to why Ohio State Marion. I mentioned the big one of size, location, small campus, the people. We are part of a larger university though, and so that breadth, that academic rigor, lots of great reasons why you should apply to Ohio State Marion. So let's talk about that process. So I mentioned earlier that you have two routes that you can go. You can apply to the Marion campus specifically, or you can apply to the Columbus campus and have Ohio State Marion as your backup option. So should you not be admitted, you would be automatically admitted to the Marion campus. The Marion campus application is going to be a little bit shorter. It does not have an essay, for example. It's just a little bit quicker. Ohio State Marion is open access. And what that means is that if you are a freshman applicant, so you haven't attended any other institutions after high school, or if you're still in high school, for example, you would be applying as a freshman, and you are guaranteed admission as long as you are going to graduate high school. That's it. So there is a spot at Ohio State for everyone in the state. And that is really, really neat to hear. The application fees are the same for either application, so $60 application fee. And to complete that Marion campus application, all you have to submit is the application fee, or application fee waiver. If you think you qualify for a fee waiver, or if you aren't sure about paying that fee, please reach out to our enrollment team. We're happy to talk about that fee waiver. And your high school transcripts. That's it. So send those high school transcripts directly to Ohio State, and that's a complete application. If you are thinking of autumn 2020, so if you're thinking of enrolling here in August, we are still accepting applications. So you can go to apply.osu.edu there at the top and apply online at any time. Our priority application deadline is June 1st at this point. So definitely get that application in very soon. If you are thinking of applying for the future, spring, or many of you may be rising seniors looking to apply for 2021, the application will open August 1st of your senior year. If you are a transfer student, go to apply.osu.edu for those deadlines because they are typically a little bit closer to the start of the semester and depend on the semester. So the Columbus campus application, going back to that, you have two routes. Again, for those of you that are seniors or about to graduate, class of 2020, the Columbus application is now closed. So your only option is this Marion campus application. For those of you that are rising seniors, class of 2021 or below that are freshmen, the two applications here are going to open up August 1st, like I said. So the common application or the coalition application, both are exactly the same application essentially. Slight differences on the application itself, but in terms of what we get from them, they are the same. So there's no preference. You don't have a better chance with one versus the other. Do one or the other, not both. We tend to see a little bit more Common App than Coalition application just because I think there's more other schools on the Common App than there are Coalition. So both of those applications are not Ohio State only applications. They are applications to universities that you would do that multiple universities use. So you could apply to 10 schools if you wanted by doing the Common App or Coalition application. You would hit submit and it would go to all these schools. Each school has their own questions on the application when you select them and add them. But again, you would be getting to apply to multiple schools at once, which is kind of nice. Now, the Columbus campus is competitive admission. So not everyone gets in, and that can be really tough to hear. Now, again, I mentioned when you fill out the application, if you're an Ohio resident, it's going to ask you in the Ohio State section, if not admitted to the Columbus campus, what campus would you like to be admitted to? If you don't choose something, we will choose for you, but the large majority of students will choose the campus that they think is the best fit, and we obviously think that's Marion. So you would put Marion campus there, and then at any point, depending on when you get your decision, if you are not admitted to the Columbus campus, you will automatically be admitted to the Marion campus. So you know that no matter what, you can start on an Ohio State campus for the semester that you were intending. So that's really big. I mean, that's a really big thing to let sink in. So no matter what, if you are an Ohio resident, you're applying as a freshman, we've got a spot for you on our campus. You just have to graduate high school. So again, both applications are fine. You can do either one, but whatever process you think is best for you, make sure you do it nice and early. So cost is another one of those big reasons that we talk about why Ohio State Marion is such a great fit. So let's start with tuition and then we'll break it down. So tuition for the 2019-2020 academic year, so the academic year that we are just finishing, is $7,912, just shy of $8,000. That is lower than the Columbus campus by about $3,000. And it's a little bit lower than the average in-state tuition rate for most public schools here in Ohio. So that's something we're really proud of. That's a pretty low fee to begin, or tuition to begin with, but then we try to make it even better. So again, let's chip away at that. We definitely want you to file the FAFSA. If you are not familiar with the FAFSA, it's the free application for federal student aid. That is an application that you can do for many, many universities. Almost every university in the country accepts that FAFSA. And it opens October 1st of your senior year if you're in high school. So October 1st every year is when it opens for the coming autumn. So October 1st, you can start to file it. You don't have to file it the first day if you don't want to, but the sooner you file it, the better chance you have of getting some of these grants and aid and things like that we're going to talk about. So the FAFSA, you fill it out once, it goes to all the universities that you are interested in. So you would put Ohio State on there, and if you're admitted, we go ahead and process not only your admission, but see what you're eligible for. So there may be some stuff that is federal, so grants, loans, work study. A lot of these things will look similar school to school, if not exactly the same in terms of amount school to school. So you will see that. So we've got this tuition, and then you may get something from the federal government. You may get something from the university specifically, so grants, scholarships that you qualify for from the larger university or from the Marian campus in particular. And then finally, there's a category that we call self-help. So the idea that maybe you're working and bringing in money that way, or you're working on campus and bringing in money and putting that towards tuition. Maybe you're bringing in third-party scholarships. Maybe you've got a savings account that you've been saving for college. Whatever that self-help is, it's kind of a broad category, but that means something that isn't federal or university in our case. So when you start to chip away at that, you find that it's actually a really good deal at Ohio State Marian. One of the biggest things that surprised me when I started was how often me and my team get to call a student and say, have you looked at your financial aid package? Because you have everything covered, or you have at least half of everything covered for this coming year. That is amazing. Again, starting out with a tuition rate that's not that high to begin with compared to other universities, and then ending up with only half or a third, or maybe even everything covered through grants and scholarships before loans. That's a wonderful thing. Loans are always our last resort and our last thing that we want to look at. Now, we're here to help. This is a new process for most of you going through this. Even if you have a student who's gone through this before and you're a parent and this is kind of old news, every year is different, every student is different, and every institution is different. So we want you to get in touch. Our priority deadline is February 1st. We want you to file both your application, fill out your application by February 1st, and file the FAFSA by February 1st. Now, I recommend doing it a little bit earlier than that. So that priority deadline is when everything is due in. If we get your FAFSA and we have some questions and we need some more information, we have some paperwork we need from you to verify things, that's going to delay when you submitted your full FAFSA. So fill it out way in advance. Give yourself at least a month if you can, so that we can receive it, process it, and again, if we need anything, get back to you so that we give you time before that February 1st deadline. Because if we're waiting on some information, I don't want that to hold up you getting to view your aid or know what you qualify for because we're waiting on some paperwork. So definitely get all of those materials in. Check your email as you go through this process, because if we have any questions or need more information, we will ask and get in touch. So for those of you that are going to be applying as freshmen, again, students that are currently in high school or have not attended anywhere else post high school, this is the award matrix that you would be working off of. So you see class rank and the dollar amount. Pretty simple chart. The higher you are in your class rank, the more money you are looking at. Now, we often get asked, my school doesn't rank. That is more and more common, and that is okay. It doesn't mean you're not going to get a scholarship. It just means that we'll evaluate transcripts based on your high school's ACT profile and everything that they provide on your transcript, and we'll evaluate where you fall in that ranking, or where you would have fallen should your high school have ranked. So we'll figure out based on, again, 0 to 100, class rank, kind of an estimate. We'll use that to determine your scholarship award. And this is the scholarship for your first year at Ohio State Marian. Now again, February 1st is that application deadline. So if you are going to be a senior, February 1, 2020 is when we recommend you get everything in by. And that is everything completed, not just your application online, but your application fee and your transcripts. Now, one thing to note, we do have a first choice incentive. So if you qualify for something on that chart, but you also fill out your application nice and early before December 1 of this year, or December 1 of your senior year, whenever that is, you will also qualify for an extra $500 on top of that award. So a little bonus for those of you that are nice and proactive and get everything in nice and early. This is only for students that apply directly to Ohio State Marian. So if you're optioned from the Columbus campus before December 1st, that doesn't count. Now, I mentioned a couple times that we want to help. So for example, when you get that financial aid award, if you are an incoming student and have already been sent your notification that your award is posted and you log on and you have questions, that's what we're here for. If we don't know the answer, we will find out. If you want to check on your application status, you looked online, but you think you already sent something and you're a little confused, that's what we're here for. And one of the perks of being a smaller campus is getting to talk with someone individually. I love working at a small campus for that reason, that we really get to know our students if they're interested in getting to know us. So you've got a little chart here, a little map of Ohio. Depending on the county that your high school is in, determines the staff member that you would work with. So this information is on our website as well in terms of contact information. You will see my information, for example, in that yellow area. If you're in any of those counties for high school, that is who you would be working with, is me. So Gordon.8. Now, if you're not familiar with Ohio State, we use what we call dot numbers. Dot numbers would be your last name, dot, and then a number at osu.edu would be your email address. That is also your username. That's your login for everything in the future. So Gordon.8 is mine, which means that there are not that many Gordons in front of me because they determine the number based on how many people with that last name are already in the system. So not that many Gordons. The opposite would be Ashley Marsh. We have two Ashleys on our team. And Ashley Marsh, there's a lot of Marshes on Ohio State's campus. So marsh.2282 at osu.edu. If you're from Aurora, Delaware County, you would be working with Ashley Marsh. Holly Jacobson, there's a few Jacobsons, not as many as I thought there would be. So hollyjacobson.125 at osu.edu if you're up in that light blue territory. And then Macy has that half of the state. Winklevoos.1, she's quite unique. There were no other Winklevooses when she started at Ohio State. So Winklevoos.1. So again, get in touch with us. Let us know what questions you have. My contact information is here. Again, I said at the beginning too, almost the same number, 740-725-6242 is our main number, or you can call me directly and I'll put you in touch with the best fit. Gordon.8 at osu.edu and Ask Marian at osu.edu. You'll also find our link right there. If you would like to text in, please text CVD20 to 740-209-0022. So if you'd like to be texted, you can opt into that number right there. We don't send many, maybe one or two a month. But as we get closer to deadlines, I think it's really nice to get a text. If you haven't applied, for example, and we want to get in touch with you, text can be a very quick way. Most students like it because they can text us back. So if you are someone who doesn't check emails all that often, but you have questions and want to text real quick, get on our texting platform. Again, any questions you have about this process, wherever you're at in the search process, let us know. We are here to help. Ohio State is a campus of opportunity. We are very proud to work for Ohio State Marian. We think it's a wonderful campus, and we hope to have you on campus again soon. Go to go.osu.edu/visit Marian. If you want to schedule a one-on-one conversation, we are happy to talk with you, or you can just give us a call and we'll chat that way. Either way, we hope to hear from you. Best of luck in your college search process, and we hope to see you soon.